Hey everyone, welcome back to Primetime. My name is Dr. Chad Kuntz. I'm the founder and owner of Prime Movement, and we are on episode number 11. We're going to discuss how to help your child achieve a collegiate athletic scholarship. So let's be honest, we could probably spend days discussing this. We'll try to touch the surfaces of this, still cover a lot of the main content, and to just kind of give you the framework. If you have additional specific questions, as always, feel free to email me at chadk@primemovement.com, as if I don't know the information offhand, I will find you the specific details of this, because when you start to think about a very young child trying to achieve a collegiate scholarship, there can be a lot of specific research-based guidelines out there which are very helpful to help you understand how much you can actually do when you're going through adolescence, when you're going through puberty, all these kind of nitty-gritty questions that need to be answered. I'm happy to do this discussion too, because I understand how much it costs to attend and get and achieve a really good collegiate education. So let's just do it a little bit smarter, guys, because I've seen already enough a lot of kids getting hurt because they didn't have the right educational framework when growing up and kind of going through the process of trying to achieve that collegiate scholarship. So parents, when the kids are really young, and let's just use the example that you want them to be a stud golfer and you want them to achieve a collegiate scholarship for golf. Let's start with that. So when they're really young, let's say 2 or 3 years old, get out in the yard and just model it. Model the movement, help them see it, watch it, and do that frequently. See if you could do that almost every day, even as little as 5 or 10 minutes. The kids are sponges and they will pick it up and they'll just see the way you're moving, and that will be a great start for them. Let's scoot forwards to the young ages of 7 or 8. They are actually allowed to begin strength training. No, you're not going to stunt their growth. No, you're not going to damage their growth plates, as long as it's done intelligently. So really intelligently can be simplified to meaning don't push them to do 1 rep maxes. Keep it fun, keep it light. I'd like to use a lot of bands in these type of kids just to learn the motion, because really appropriate strength training is done when the person understands how to move that way and how to fire certain muscles. So I think bands do a good job at kind of helping the person learn to feel what muscles are being used. You can of course start to use some weight with this. Just remember, you're not powerlifting or bodybuilding with this. They're just starting to learn how to move weight. Okay, they're just starting to learn how to use their body to move a certain force. I do encourage body weight movements at this age too. From that age up until 16, we'll say, but don't think that's a hard, fast rule. We want to be cross-training with them, or hybrid training, if you will. So for our analogy of this golfer, while we want them to have a majority of their time golfing, we also want them to have purposeful, non-consecutive rest breaks from golf, so that they can either do more strength training for their desired sport to help facilitate better movement in that sport, and also they should be encouraging, or you should be encouraging them to do other sports. So basketball, baseball. You don't have to become the most invested in those other sports, because you have to realize what's the big picture of why I'm having my child play in this basketball season. Well, I want them to learn other concepts. I want them to learn how to work as a team of 5. I want them to learn how to move their body in different ways to become more agile, to have better balance, to have better coordination. And then I'm going to have them play baseball, and I'm going to have them learn how to swing their hips and hit that ball in a slightly different way, and yet still develop that eye-hand coordination since the ball's moving and then I contact the ball when I swing that bat. So you start to kind of depict and understand how these other sports can help your athlete do what they want to do even better. I would say it's pretty fair by the time they are 16 and moving forwards that they can start to really dial in that sport. And if you want to go year round, and what my year round means is that you still have purposeful rest breaks built into that program, but at the age of 16 and starting to move forwards, you guys can most likely do that. Again, I can't put an absolute hard rule on the 16, just because everybody's a little different. People go through puberty a little bit differently, and you just have to kind of see where that athlete's at. Lastly, to help your athlete achieve that collegiate scholarship, of course you want to get in front of them, and there's all these kind of other angles, but let's keep it mechanical. I want that athlete to be strong. I want that athlete to understand how to move, and I want them to have been exposed to off-season workout programs. And I'm not talking about just throwing any slew of exercises at them. I'm talking about them working with an expert to dial in proficient movements that help them with whatever they're doing. A hockey player versus a golfer player versus a football player are all gonna need and have different needs in terms of the strength and power and movement. Even within the game of football, if they want to become an offensive lineman, that's gonna feel a lot different than a quarterback in regards to what that strength training off-season program needs to look like. So many parents get so caught up in having that child or athlete only play in their sport, and they neglect all the strength training. It's like they don't really understand the benefits that appropriate strength training can do to catalyze progress. And it doesn't even have to take up that much time or your money. That's the best thing. A lot of people would happily spend thousands of dollars on equipment, but never spend hundreds of dollars on teaching their athlete on how to properly move in weight training and work out. You do want to find someone the best. In my experience, you don't want to necessarily teach them just a random base of high intensity aerobic training exercises. You want strength training. You want these kids to get strong. You do want them to develop muscle. And of course, the specificity of their sport will decide some of this. But you can save the high intensity boot camp stuff kind of for later. You want to dial them in with specific exercises for their end goal in mind. If you do that purposeful 2 to 3 month span of only working out, and then you gradually get them back into the sport, you will absolutely witness a difference. They will feel the difference. So if you adhere to those concepts as they go through the ages, you'll have a better chance of helping them get that collegiate scholarship. Like I said, guys, this conversation can really go 1,000 different directions. So if you have specific questions on the appropriate methods to help them progress in their yearly training, so if it's a baseball player, there's specific angles on what pitches they can throw at what ages. Based off their Tanner level, which decides where they're at in puberty, it can decide what level of function and movement they can do. If they want to become a USA weightlifter, there's specific guidelines on how many reps and how much pounds and when they can be a competitor. So I didn't want to cover all that today because that would be days worth. So if you guys have any specific questions on that in your child's sport, I'd be happy to pull up the research, send you the information so we can make the best decision for your child. So that most importantly, we can keep them healthy, keep them safe, don't get them burnt out or injured before they even make it to that opportunity for their collegiate scholarship. Thanks for tuning in to Primetime, guys. We'll see you next time.